Hope everyone's had a pleasant start into the week. Or, I mean, if your week's just starting, I hope it will be pleasant. um, I've had a nice day so far. I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule, so I woke up at 2 p.m. today, which is good for my standards. I slept 10 hours from 2. No, from 4 till 2, sorry. As you can see, my cheer emote has been released by Twitch, but for some reason when I checked, the Awooga emote had just been entirely deleted off of the platform. It did not exist. Twitch was denying its existence. So I uploaded that one again, and we will see what happens. I'm a bit late today. That's because I got distracted and I just took the sex values test that people have been doing. Yeah, I know. Release Awooga. Please. Awooga. I have to. It's important to me. How else will I express myself if not with Awooga? I'm shaking my fucking head. Speaking of head, as you can see, there's a little guy on mine. It's Yuzu Bean. I got beaned by Manchi. I had the great honor of being beaned. Now I have a little friend with me. I love this little guy so much. It's just a little bean. It's mean. It's me as a bean. It's Yuzu Bean. It's Bean Yuzu. So he's around today. Yay. By the way, for the sex values test, it's like I got a pretty even split. It's like everything is almost 50-50 split. It's like the attraction between masculine and feminine, 50-50. The dominant and submissive, 50-50. Deviant or pure, 50-50. Affection or hedonism, 50-50. The only thing that I didn't get a 50-50 split in is the sex drive. I mean, if you didn't know this by now, right? Got 87.5 hyper. So do with that information whatever you will. I won't be posting that to Twitter because I don't want to clutter my media feed too much. I say like I haven't cluttered it already. Pat, you were mostly middle on them too, except you were like 90% pure. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now I feel bad. Pat's a gentle giant. So pure. Pure cinnamon roll. You know? As the kids used to say. Ugh. Can't believe I said that. Ugh. I've been getting into the habit of eating a lot of yogurt and cereal. Like cereal but with yogurt instead of milk. Because it's easy to make. And I was at the grocery store recently and I was like, I've been eating so much yogurt, I might as well get some frozen fruit because that would be really great with yogurt and cereal. Since I'm eating like oaty healthy cereal. So I got some frozen mango to eat and I had that for dinner today. They sell like cups of yogurt, like 500 gram cups. I don't know how much that is. I can't look it up because I'm streaming. But like 500 gram cups of yogurt, and I pour a little bit of cereal in, and I mix it, and then I eat a little bit, so I can pour more cereal in and it won't overflow. And then I mixed that, and then I added some mango chunks. It was very yummy. However, I'm very cold. I didn't know what I expected, right? I considered everything about the mango, just not that frozen food is cold. So I'm wrapped in my heated blanket now. That's 1 pound of yogurt. Oh yeah, that is a pound of yogurt. Yeah, I had a pound of yogurt for dinner. I'm wrapped in my heated blanket. My heated blanket that I picked up off the street last year. Or earlier this year, I think. And I'm hoping that I will be warm. Knowing me, because I get really warm when I stream, mostly just... I don't know why. I guess it just happens, but also my laptop gets hot, so that probably just ups the room temperature by a couple degrees. I should be warm enough soon. That I can discard my heated blanket that I picked up off the streets. My heated blanket of unknown origins. My heated blanket with a rough past. This is like the first time I've ever used it because I picked it up just at the beginning of spring. So it was just getting warm, so I never needed to, but it looked nice, so I just picked it up. And now I have a heated blanket. I'm honestly not sure if it works. I don't know if I'm, like, warm because the blanket itself is warm or just because I'm underneath the blanket. Either way, it's a blanket. My one policy in life is to not say no to free stuff. Welcome, Rembrandt. Nice to see you around again. You're up late. The little creature on my head looks almost like I have a bun. Yeah, it is me colored, but it's not a bun, it's a bean. Get it right. It's a me bean. It's mean. I've made that joke already. I'm gonna switch us over to the game now, because we, as usual, have a lot to get through. So today we are getting the... It's not that late yet. Yeah, sure, whatever. We are getting the knife ending. I don't really know what that entails, but it has knife in the name, so it can't be good. That's what I'm assuming, right? I'm once again consulting a walkthrough for the areas I've played already. And we will be skipping through all of the parts of the game that we've played through already. For those of you who don't know what this game is, we are playing 9 hours? 9 persons, 9 doors? I'm not sure on the order. But it's about a group of people that are locked on a boat. Oh yeah, bye Pat! Thank you for stopping by still, I appreciate it. Pat and I will be collabing. On Wednesday, we will be playing more Overboard! Committing Murders. So, we will be doing it on Pat's channel. Come join. It will be very, very fun. Teehee! Right. We're stuck on a boat. We have to escape the boat, or the boat's going to sink. Oh, put the key in. And we have to solve puzzles to do it. There's like a whole backstory to it that I'm not gonna get into because there's a lot of it. I have my theories on who's evil and who's not, but they are kind of getting disproven the more I play. So we'll find out. We played through, I think, 4 or 3 endings? Unsure. A couple. And there's 6 in total. So we're nearing the end of it. Finally. For the sake of my throat, what I will be doing different with this playthrough and possibly the next ones too, I won't be voicing the characters. I'll still read their dialogue, but I won't go into it and voice them anymore. Because I think that was one of the issues of what was causing my throat to hurt that much recently. That I was like playing 3 to 4 hours of this game twice a week and voicing all of the characters. So I won't be doing that anymore. We'll see if that works. I have a slight suspicion that I will start voicing them again, just out of habit. So if I do, and you notice me doing that, just fucking yell at me. Yell at me, please. I did eat a throat candy just before, and I did my vocal warm-ups, so I should be fine, hopefully. But after last week, I took it a bit easy in case you didn't notice. My throat has been better. Shit. Shit. Also, for some reason, the game audio is really crispy today. It's quite crinkly. Like, more so than usual, but we will survive. Again, our main character's name is Junpei. We are playing as him. He's a little bit stupid. Very straight. I'm not sure I'm a fan of him, but we make do with what we're handed, you know? Oh. I knew that one by heart. Well. Okay. Hey. I found it. So, let me reiterate just the endings that we've gotten, because this is a very long scene that we're going to skip through now. The first ending we got were the submarine ending, where everyone died, we found a submarine, and then we got murdered. And then, after that, I started following a list, a guide on Reddit, for how to get endings and which order to get them in. We got the coffin ending, where we technically survived, but some hostages were taken and only one group of people left the ship. Then we got the axe ending, in which we got murdered by an axe-wielding girl. Fun for the whole family. Seeing as this ending is called the knife ending, nice to meet you, I assume that our fate this time won't be very nice either. I think we might be getting stabbed today. Honestly, I'm pumped. It's about time for a knife ending. An ending with knife? Hell yeah, I'm into that. So the doors we should be going through should be door 4, door 8, and door 6. The only new one of those, I think, is door 6, so I'm gonna try to make my way pretty fast through the others. And we'll see how long this one takes. I'm excited though. It feels like it's been a while since I properly played this. All of the theories that I had, like that I formed through the first 2 playthroughs, have just kind of been shot to the wind with everything that has been revealed recently. It's about time for a knife ending. A person about to be stabbed. Excuse you! Excuse you, I needed to interrupt the game for this. I am the person about to be doing the stabbing. How dare you? Excuse you. Also, who says I'm not excited about being stabbed? I was fairly excited about getting hit in the head with an axe last time. That was great! You know, diversity win. Your axe-wielding murderer is a girl boss. Yeah, your mistake. Get it right next time. How dare you? Were you here for any of my other streams that I've played this game, or are you just being thrown in blind? Because if you are, I'm sorry. It's about time for a knife ending. A person about to stab someone. Exactly! Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Entirely blind. Cool. If you go in the door, you might explode. You have to, like, scan your thingy, and the same amount of people that scan on the entrance have to scan inside of the door. Here he's taking her hostage because, we need to demonstrate to everyone that You do die on the ship, so he will die in just a second. You know, standard stuff, really. By the way, that girl that he's holding hostage right now was our murderer in the last playthrough. Spoilers, but, you've come so far. Beep beep. And, right now the only person going inside the door is him, not the other people who scanned the thingy. So he's about to explode. Wait. He's like... He's saying that someone lied to him in this scene. That that's wrong, and that's not what's supposed to happen. Who lied to him? So the ninth man was in on a plot with somebody. But that person lied to him. That person knew how this worked and lied to him. But the only person who knew how the Reds and the Deads worked is Snake, because Snake had the Braille. He got the extra information no one else had. Was Snake... Is that why they tried to kill Snake? Because Snake isn't dead. Snake's in the coffin. We assume. No, wait, we know Snake's not dead because the body didn't have a prosthetic arm. Sorry, Rembrandt, I've gone off the deep end. Is that why they tried to make it seem like Snake was dead? Maybe the ninth man and Snake and someone else and some other people were in on it. But Snake and another person lied to the ninth man and another person. The ninth man died, and the other person on the side of the ninth man decided to make it seem like they'd killed Snake to scare the person on Snake's side. uh... Why and how was there another person inside of the ninth man? No, not inside. On the side of the ninth man. I'm gonna get us through this cutscene and then I'm actually gonna pull up Clip Studio and try and drop a graph. Because I feel like I need to sort out my thoughts too. That makes slightly more sense, doesn't it? Then again, this cutscene is still pretty long. Yes, graph. But you remember the last time I made a graph for you, right? Oh, we're going through door 4. Okay, whatever. I'm deciding that later. Now, I pull up Clip Studio. And I get my tablet. Actually, I need to get the cord, so... It was pretty good graph, thank you. I'll go get the cord, I'll be right back. Oh no, I dragged myself too far off screen again. And I left my whole arm. Oh god. What am I doing? Yeah, I see. I see the knife arm. Thank you, Renbrain. Listen, sometimes you leave your arm. It happens. All right? There. I've summoned myself. Here we are. Let's see. Get Clip Studio in here. Ah, not there. Here. Ah, that's fine. I'll just cover it up. Okay. Um, we have 9 characters that we know of, right? That's too big. We have Junpei. He is the main character. He is childhood friends with June, whose real name we know is Akane. Okay. Then we have Clover and Snake, who are siblings. We have Lotus, who is the mom of kids who were experimented on. And we think that the kids that were experimented, the kids and Clover and Snake, were all experimented on in the past, 9 years ago. Experiment. Then we also have Seven, who's a cop, who investigated the experiment. Investigation. Clover, Snake, Lotus. We have Santa, who, as far as we know, has no connection to anything, which I don't trust because I think he's evil. Who else do we have? Ace, who we also don't know how he's connected. Evil Santa. Yeah, everyone has a number, and Santa's number is 3, so he goes by Santa. I can write down their numbers. Seven's number is obviously 7, 2, 4, 5, 6. That helps actually. It can tell who's missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's only the 9th man. Okay. I'll put the 9th man here. Why did I write it like that? 9th man, who never got to make a nickname for himself because he died. Rip. Okay. Let me sort this out. Come down here. So, the only people who have no relation to anything that we know of are Ace, Santa, and the 9th man, one of whom is dead. Interesting. Now, let's get to the snake murder. Snake. murder. Yeah, the names make more sense, don't they? Snake murder. Snake gets murdered while everyone is off alone, so we don't know for sure who could have. But a minimum of 2 murderers must be involved. Minimum 2 murderers. And they have to have a digital root of 3. Digital root of 3. So their numbers must add up to 12 or 21. What else do we know? We know that Junpei was not it. Not Junpei. I assume we can still exclude Clover also, because she's his sister, and also she killed us all with an axe because he died, so probably not. Not Junpei. Clover. And I don't want to believe that it's 7, because I still trust 7 with my life. But then again, there's no explicit proof that 7 didn't do it, I guess. Except for the fact that he pointed out that there must be at least 2 murderers. Then again, Snake isn't actually dead, so whose body is that? Hi, Kormishi! I'm graphing it out. I'm writing out my thoughts. Beautiful robot lass? Thank you, but I'm not a lass, just a robot. I've lost you. How have I lost you? How has this not been perfectly clear? Well, if I am a robot, very right. If that's not Snake's body, then they don't have to. Then the murderers could be someone else entirely, right? If Snake's still alive. And evidently, what Clover did, right? You can take the bracelet off a dead person and still use it. What am I talking about? I'm graphing out what happened. I'm trying to sort my thoughts. Right now we're thinking about the Snake murder. The air quotes Snake murder. Since there was a body, but it wasn't Snake's. So someone died. The who murder? Snake! This man. In, like, the uniform. Oh god, this is the worst rendition of Snake I've ever drawn. Don't actually look at that. That's not what he looks like. Clover's brother. The untrustworthy guy with the slick hair. It was an untrustworthy guy with slick hair, I guess. The blind man, Clover's brother. Or Komishi, you weren't here last time. Clover murdered us. Clover killed us. With an axe, just like you predicted. You never met Snake. Oh, wow. He did die early on, I guess. Well... If Snake is not dead, who was murdered there? I doubt you could scrape the body of the 9th man out of the fucking tunnel where he died, and since he got exploded. So that's not the 9th man's body. The captain is dead, but his body is still laying there later. So it's not the captain's body either. Clone. Fake body. Why did Clover kill us? She went crazy and killed us for revenge because her brother is dead. even though he's not actually dead. Because if I don't know who died, I can't draw a conclusion on who killed. She took her anger out on us. She took her anger out on everyone. She massacred everybody. Well, she massacred everyone on screen that we saw except for Ace and Lotus. Because, the group split up. Clover and the others went to investigate something, and Junpei was left with Ace and Lotus. Ace called Lotus aside to show her something. Which I still think is suspicious. Right? Let's move to the other layer. Ace showed never split the boat murder party. We unfortunately have to split the boat murder party quite a bit. And also, Santa took us hostage. With a gun. Who? He took June. So, who else did he take? Santa. Santa found ammo. Santa has a gun. He does. Sorry, I'm just writing this here. I'm writing here. Santa's hostages. Or rather, Santa's 9 gang. The people who went through the door with Santa. I remember he took June. So 6 plus 3 is already 9. So he must have taken Lotus too. Right? Does that seem right? Who's left then? 1, 2's dead. 4, 5, 7. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So the people Santa took. And I had my suspicions on June anyways, since she could have done this. But then again, if this is all different, then I don't know who could have done that. So I don't know if June's evil. We know that Santa's evil for sure, because he held us hostage with a gun. We know that Ace is sus, because he was trying to split Lotus and Junpei up for some reason. But we don't know why, because we got murdered before he showed us. Clover is evil because she has the capacity to pick up an axe and massacre everyone. True. True. But I think she's less of an imminent threat. Yeah, Stan Clover. We love a girl boss. I think Snake is actually suspicious, because he had the extra information at the beginning. And the 9th man said that somebody lied to him. Somebody lied to him. And the only person who had the information about the things that the 9th man claimed to have been lied to about is Snake. Suddenly Snake's suspicious? Okay, I have to play the game. I have to play the game. Okay. Let me close Clip Studio real quick. I don't need to save this canvas. Get rid of the tablet. Throw it away. I don't need it anymore. I've written out my thoughts. Ugh. Right, okay, we're going through door 4. Let's do that. Oh god, my mouse isn't plugged in. Ugh. Door 4. Skip, 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 skip. So door 4 is the one that we went through in the beginning, right? The first one we went through. So... that's the first class cabin. Oh, it's the one with the dog! Is the dog. Oh. It's not the first class cabin, though. It's a second class cabin. Huh. Yes. Okay. What the dog doing? He's an optical illusion. Ah. No, get us not blowing up. Oh yeah, there's the whole astrology symbols too. Not astrology, astronomy. Astronomy symbology. Because there's 9 of them. The ship designer's an absolute troll face. I mean, if we assume this ship is, the Gigantic, which is a clone of the Titanic, the Titanic's designer would be an absolute troll face. Stick a way out! Blam, 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 blam! Okay. Once again, I'm following a walkthrough now. Putting a bunch of decoy rooms to waste time. I feel like that would be Zero, who organized this whole thing. Matches. Cutscene! Stabby Yuzu. I am stabby today, because it's the knife ending. So-called. I feel like I have to have my knife out for the knife ending. It's only appropriate. Charity stream? What am I raising money for? Rent? It's possible. Raising money for Junpei's education, if he lives. Which I doubt. A replica of the Titanic. Fucking, what's the guy's name? Gordain? Do we believe in curses today? No, we don't. As long as Junpei doesn't get an axe in the crotch by a pink-haired mini-Miku again. He shouldn't! We're getting the knife ending, not the axe ending. Dresser. Key. Go to the other bedroom. Knife in the crotch by his childhood friend then? You're assuming that June gets the knife? That's interesting. I do wonder who gets the knife. Let's keep that in mind. Let's see if your prediction is right. Ah, oh, that's a keep. Combine. Into the dark. Yeah, I've had no reason to trust June so far. A Kormishi after my own heart. I don't trust June. Something about her. It's too good to be true. I guess not even that, but, you know, too good in general. Now we wait for the candle to go out. Do I have to click something first? Oh, shower curtain, right. That's important. Whoa, it's dark! The candle's gone out. Speedrunning 999, I am. This is the 3rd time I've played through this room. I've kinda gotta. If I don't, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, right, Santa's gonna give us the 4-leaf clover that we're not gonna use. Stream dying. Oh no! What's happening to the stream? What's happening? Stream? At certain points, it just gets all fucky-wucky. Oh no! Looks fine to Rembrandt. Potato is starting to burn. No, it's not! It's doing quite okay, all things considered. Quite okay. Not good, but quite okay. Just about as good as usual. Looks fine to Rembrandt. Maybe it's an internet problem for you, Komishi? You do gotta get me a new PC. I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna wait just a second to see if things calm down, maybe. I mean, I have my stats tab open. It doesn't look worse than usual, I say. It doesn't look great usually, but it doesn't look worse. So I'll take that. And it can't be worse than when I was playing Night in the Woods, so all things considered, it's a win. Rembrandt, I see you PMing me. I'll get back to you after I finish stream when you will be asleep. I appreciate it though. Okay. Has it calmed down? Does the bean move fine? It's the only moving thing I have. Is the bean moving okay? I didn't know how to animate the bean, but I really wanted it scrolling. So people you know who have spare tech stuff, ooh, interesting. So what I did to animate the bean was I put it into Keynotes, which is the Mac PowerPoint, and I just animated an intro and an outro for the bean, and then I set the background color to bright red and took a video of that, and then I chroma keyed it in OBS. Speaking of knives, you've been trying to look for a training knife on Amazon to play around with, but you think England's entire shit is blocking knife results? I think it might be. I think it might be. You might have to get knife illegally. Gasp. For the police that's listening in, I am not suggesting to Cormishi to get a knife illegally. I'm saying that hypothetically, if Cormishi were to get a knife, the only way to hypothetically get it would be hypothetically illegally. You already get loot illegally. Oh my god. Oh my god. Knives the same way. The people you get loots from concern me. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep playing now. Tile! It's like trying to buy a BB gun in Europe. I've never tried that, so I wouldn't know. Though I am in Europe, I just have no interest in BB guns. Oh. We got the bookmark. That's of no use to us in this run, I think. And this is where Santa's super edgy. For absolutely no reason. But, whatever. You want a blowback BB gun to feel like you're a true gamer? Okay. Doesn't really mean anything to me, but... have fun! Now we hang up the shower curtain. And then we look through the hole. Oh, I didn't have it equipped. Who in the shower? Nobody! Or right now, Junpei. Yeah. Peek through the hole, there's a tile. And now we go into the other room. Lotus in the shower? No, it was Junpei. Lotus was just there too. Oh, fuck. No, I don't want to go. No, no! Oh, God. Now we go into the other bathroom. And which tile is it? 5th from the left, 3rd from the top. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Isn't it the other way around? Yeah, it's the other way around. This walkthrough is wrong. Now we got all the tiles, so we can make the dog. Rembrandt, if you're still here, I'm about to make a dog. Tell me if you can see the dog. Because so far, no one has been able to, but I saw it the first time I made it. So, I want to know if you can see the dog. Switch that. Dog! Can you see it? It's a dog! And we take the key, and then Lotus tells it about the fucking experiment stuff. Looks like a guy with pom-poms. He said this last time! Then I explained how it looks like a dog to you. You see the dog? Wow! Rembrandt sees the dog. An anomaly. No one's ever seen the dog first try, except for me. Explain again. Okay. If Lotus asks us what we see. Yeah. Okay. Can I... Ah, okay. So, this is the head. There's the nose. These are the front legs. That's the body. This is the back leg. You know, it's looking this way. It's a dog. It's like a little French bulldog. Looks like a dog. Yeah, see? It's a dog. It's a little French bulldog. You don't see it? They even superimposed the actual photo. It's a dog. Anyway, Lotus is all like, so they did this experiment, which can only lead to people having telepathy as the only result. The dog is black and white, yeah. And then we're like, what? And then she's like, psych, I never meant that. I was just messing with you. Door. I found it! And now we're in the kitchen. Well, we're about to be in the kitchen, I guess. Then we're gonna get locked in the freezer! Again, for the 3rd time! Hell yeah! Let's make a bologna sandwich. Bologna? God, I can never say that right first try. First try. Bologna sandwich? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, we're in the kitchen. Oh, I'm sorry, Junpei. I skipped Seek the Way Out. Sorry. Bologna. Where's the sink? Sink. Nyazu? Okay. 1 second. I need to go change. Don't mind that I left my knife. Oops. Here I am. Meow. Bologna. My arm unattached? Yeah, it happens. I'm a robot. Okay? Look what else my arm can do. Yeah. Yeah. Truly a step forward in technology. Don't you want to have a robot cat? Isn't this the best thing that's ever happened to you? Yeah? Isn't this the best thing that's ever happened to you? Keep the knife? Okay. Anya. Stab, stab. Okay. Well, where's the sink? I still haven't found it. Sink. There. So cute. Thank you. I know. Go to the storage room to the right of the teapot. Where's the teapot? Oh, there. Move the sheet. Whetstone. It sure is! I've seen many whetstones in my time. There are many whetstones by the water. Like rivers and waterfalls. This one isn't special. Now we're talking about how the sinking of Titanic was predicted in a book, and then how it was predicted even earlier than that, and how the person who wrote that must have possessed a ghost that was on the Titanic and written it like that. Move the middle cheese! Talking about fertility? No. What? Fertility? No. What? That's nothing close to what I said. June brought up fertility. She did? Amazing. Well, I'm skipping through the dialogue, the one thing you choose to focus on. I commend you. It wasn't bold italics? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. Aha! We've lubed this thing up. Is that what you wanted to hear? Uh-oh, the freezer? We're about to get locked in here. Uh-oh, we're locked in. And Lotus is outside, and she's too weak to open the door. We're gonna freeze to death. Santa's only wearing a tank top. He's shaking like a newborn deer. Okay. Dry ice. Oh my god. June is the only one dressed well enough to be locked in a freezer. Junpei is actually dressed pretty well himself. He's wearing like a flannel and a down vest. Pretty gay to be honest, but okay. Suspicious? I guess? True. I think now they're talking about how there's ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Called Ice 9. And it's like, they couldn't ever make it until they once made it, and then everyone started to make it, and then there's like this thing about soap that used to never crystallize, but then it crystallized once, and then it crystallized always. And the conclusion that June draws from this is that the soap is telepathically communicating, same as the ice. Ice 9 more like 999. Oh my god. You're so smart. Oh my god. That's like... That you drew that conclusion? That's so smart of you. That's so sexy. Oh my god. Okay, we got the pork. What else do we need? Bottle and rope from the trapdoor. Okay. Rope. I'm giving you false hope. Oh, I'm sorry. I've just been getting unhinged. Okay, let's smash up the dry ice with the meat. Smash, smash. Oh, I need the pork still. A hinge from my arms. It happens! Need the pork. Pork? Pork? Oh, okay, somewhere else. Shit. Ah, pork. Okay, now I have it. And put the dry ice into the bottle. Tie some rope. I'm always looking for the meat. Come on. Just so happened that this one it was literal meat. Tie this to that, and then we can explode it. Boom. Hell yeah. Now we're like salty that Lotus didn't try to break us out hard enough, and she's like, oh, I was just waiting here because I'm like so weak and don't really care about you. And how dare you think that I closed you in? And then she does the pose where her boobs jiggle. Isn't my recap nice? Oh, she did it again! Okay. Now we put the meat on the grill. Jiggle, jiggle. It sure do jiggle. I've got that awooga. No, wait, I don't. Because Twitch blocked my awooga. Your monkey brain's happy. Good for you. Meat on the grill. But it's still not warm enough. We can't get the paper out. We need to cut it. Lucky for you, I have a knife. Twitch blocked my awooga? Yeah, my awooga emote. They approved all the other ones, but when I checked in today, the awooga one just didn't exist anymore. So I had to upload it again, and we'll just hope for the best. My cheer got through though, so we got the cheer emote now. C plus 10 plus F. Put awooga on Twitter. I could, I guess. Let's work though. Where's the safe? Yeah, look at that, you found it. You found it! Just like in 999! So the thing that we're missing here now is that it's hexadecimal, so C plus 10 plus E is actually 43. And not whatever you might think it is. 4, 3. Ugh. I hate how, you guys can see my mouse. 69 420, not this time. I'm sorry. Not this time. I hate how, in the emulator, my mouse, which you can't see, isn't aligned with the cursor in the game. And it always... The cursor moves a little bit more than my mouse does, so it just moves somewhere else entirely, and sometimes it just moves off the game screen. So when I click where I think it is, I actually click out of it. It probably doesn't make sense, but it's annoying! So if you see me like pushing the cursor into the corner, that's me aligning my mouse with it. Keycard. Saturn. Desync cursors? Yeah. It's been like this since the beginning though. I assume that's just a thing that you run into with emulation. I can deal. It's not that bad. It's unlocked. I did it. I found it. Time for a cutscene. The next door we want is door 8, which we've also been through. Which, I think that's the... I think we go there with Lotus and Clover, so congrats, Kormishi! Zero Escape reboot? Reboot? Of Zero Escape? Not as far as I know. I don't fully remember what happens here. Lots of rooms. A big room. With lots of medical beds. If Seven's here already or not, Seven is going to theorize that this was a hospital ship, which Robot did the Yanni thing. Yeah, I do it a lot. This has not been the first time. Seven will then theorize that it's possibly the Gigantic, one of the sister ships of the Titanic, since it was used as a hospital boat during World War something. That's Snake, by the way. He was just on screen. We all met each other again. Yay! But we can't go through the other doors because their scanners aren't working. And eventually we're all going to split up individually, looking through all of the, like, passenger rooms to look for the parts at the scanner. And we're not going to find anything, or at least Junpei isn't. Yeah, that's Snake! He's about to, in air quotes, die. You've never seen the guy before? Damn! But you must have, actually, since you joined around this time of my first playthrough, which was before Snake died. I remember, because I asked which room to go into, and you said the one with Lotus, so I went to the one with Lotus. I didn't see where he dies, but it was a flashback. I guess I was very much at the beginning, so you might have forgotten, or maybe you just didn't see him? Oh yeah, no, you didn't, because he was missing then. Huh. Right, we just split up, we came back, the scanner's all active, but Snake's missing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And we've all split up looking for a Snake. We have a bunch of options where we could go, but we're not going anywhere. Snake's off to assassinate a superhuman spec ops soldier, not as far as I know. I don't think so. But he could be, I guess. We don't know where he is. We talked to Santa. Santa's like, well, someone did it. Blah blah blah. Blah, whatever. Blah. Blah. We come to the conclusion that one of us fixed the scanner, but we don't know who. It could have been Snake, but we don't know. Blah blah. Blah blah blah. Where do we go next? We finish searching. Okay, well, we gotta go, but we have to leave somebody behind, because we can't all go through the doors because of the fucking digital route. Oh no, whatever do we do? One person has to stay behind. No, we couldn't possibly leave somebody behind. No, it's fine, because we have to meet up at some point after this to escape through the 9 door. So it will be fine if we leave somebody behind. Clover's sad because her brother's missing. Ace is like, I'll stay. No, you can't stay behind. We won't ever leave you behind. But Ace has, like, injected himself with some fucking medication he found in his boat, which is like 100 years old. So he's about to collapse. But he's fine, he's just going to collapse. Honestly, kind of sus for him to be injecting himself with random medication he found on a ship that's really old. How did he know that's safe? Huh? How did he know that's safe? Ace? Sus. How did you only just realize that Lotus has stars and a crescent moon on her belly? I assume you haven't been looking at her belly much. Also, it's kind of blocked by a text box. Anyways. See? I'm so smart. We go through door 8, even though I still want to go through door 3 and see what happens, but none of the endings lead to that, so I guess I won't. You can only see some boxes out. Yeah, the important bits. I guess I'll do it on my own time. Anyways, door 8! Oh no, Junpei and Jun have to split up, because they can never go together through these doors. Door 3 leads to Death Trust. It sure do! I just want to know the dialogue, and what comes of it. Anyways. Ah, they're so dramatic. We're gonna see each other again. You promise? I promise. Ugh. They're about to have their straight moment when they look at each other through the closing doors like fucking idiots. Look at that. What the fuck is this? God. Right, so we've gone off with Lotus and Clover. Yay! And we're in the laboratory. Oh, this is where Lotus gets locked in, huh? I just played through this last time. Not sure a lot of replaying stuff, huh? Oh well. Clover got locked in. And we can't get her out. Oh no. The only option is to start a fire. Oh, seek a way out. Sorry, I skipped it again. It happens. Anyways. We need the ethanol. Ethanol. Oh yeah, we got some Lotus lore last time. I think that you missed Kormishi. She used to work for a computer security agency, digital security agency. You felt more emotion buying Una than you did for seeing June and Pei split. June and Pei, that's pretty funny. Yeah, same. I feel nothing for these two. Lotus is cool? Yeah! She's a cool mom. Convince Clover that she has to use her clothes to wipe off the ink. Yeah, that's why Lotus works for like a cybersecurity company. That's how she could hack into the PC. Lotus writes down the numbers for me. Not that I actually need them, I think, but okay. Okay, we need to get the adapter, but first we have to find out that the current plug doesn't fit. You wanna know what her business attire was like and how she ended up in this type of clothing on a ship in the middle of nowhere? Good question. I mean, everyone did get kidnapped, so maybe she was like... Maybe she's a cosplay enthusiast, and she got kidnapped mid-cosplay session. We got the adapter. We combine them. And... whoops. We plug that in. And now we're gonna get the shot of Lotus hacking. Or I guess in a second. There we go. See if she's hacking. Huh. Last time she told us about wireless monitors. They kidnapped her and redressed her in flashier carnival clothes? Maybe? The last time she talked to us about wireless monitors, and how humans are actually the wireless monitor and we're being controlled from somewhere else. And she was like, psych! That doesn't mean anything. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lotus is a Facebook mom? Seems so. She's sharing posts about how vaccines have microchips in them. Keys. Cutscene. Oh, now we have a moment with Clover. Or not. I guess Clover was like, never mind, I don't want to talk to you. Cutscene. Turn on the monitor. Time to set a fire, gang. Time to set a fire, gang. Uh-oh. I've set a fire. You still stand by the fact that this game would have been way more interesting if Clover wasn't sliced in half by the falling door? Yeah? I mean, if she was sliced in half by the falling door, she couldn't have killed us all with an axe. Yay, arson! Don't you just love a little bit of good arson? I found it. I think that's all for door 8. Yeah, we're going to meet up with the rest now. Okay, so cutscene. This one's long. Your son, Cormishi and Rembrandt. Congrats! I didn't know you were expecting. What are you gonna name him? We're back. Ace is still alive. We found some keys. Junpei gets them because we're the main character. We're gonna name him Renishi. Oh my god. Just like in Undertale. Just like what they did in Undertale. I'm so happy for you too. They're checking what's through door 3. And we're being left behind, and we're gonna check out what's through the other doors. Like the Mercury and whatever doors that we got keys to. Yeah, Asriel, exactly. You could be Cormi brand too. Anyways. Split into 2 teams to check out the 2 doors that we can unlock. We go through the Mercury elevator, we take it down. June's afraid because it goes down, but it's all flooded down there, but we're like, no, it's probably safe. Because the elevator's dry. And then we go check that out, and then we come back up, and then everyone's like, no, what the fuck happened? Snake's dead! June's gonna get the knife and stab Santa when he takes her hostage. I don't think so, because for Santa to take us hostage, we have to go through door 1, right? At least that's last time it happened. And we're going through door 6. I will say, we've been pretty fast this time, even with my tangent where I drew a graph for 15 minutes. Or maybe door 9 was behind door 6? So we will get taken hostage? Tangentlement. Yeah, it happens. Hey, where the hell did you guys go? There's a dead body behind door 3. His guts look like spaghetti, and his brain looks like pizza dough covered in sauce. That description sure is burned into my mind. It smells horrible. LR. Wait, what's written on the wall? LR? What does that stand for? What does that stand for? Write that down, write that down! It's written in blood. He must have written it before he died. LR. LR. What does that stand for? Left, right? What does that stand for? What does LR stand for? LR. There's no one whose name starts with L or R. No, there's Lotus. But no one whose name starts with R. Right? Right? Then what does it mean? Yeah, exactly. How did... Well, it's not Snake. It's someone in Snake's clothes. Stands for Love Rocks. Wow. It stands for Lewd... Lewd Robot! It stands for me! I killed Snake. Yeah, it's not Snake. Because one of the other endings, Clover told us that Snake has a prosthetic for an arm, and this corpse does not have a prosthetic for an arm. You're gonna loot restrict the lewd robot? Fucking try me. LR. Look at all that blood. No more horny? Never. You can't tell me when to be horny. How dare you? So there must have been another person on board to kill. Because that's not Snake. Kormishi! What the fuck? I'm timing you out. How dare you? Someone must be on this ship. But who? How? It's not Snake, because Snake's alive in the coffin. But how did Snake get into the coffin in the first place? I got corn rolled. What the hell? That's even more fucked up. How dare you? Well, we check out the other doors. Wow, there's a door here. Which door are we gonna go through? Junpei's gonna cheat! Why is there a coffin in the first place? Well, we didn't get into it this route, but there's this thing that there was... No, wait, we did get into it. In the first room. There's a rumor that on the Titanic, they transported a mummy. Who was... so beautiful! And, like, frozen in ice. And... she was frozen in that type of ice that fucking doesn't fucking melt. And her name was All Ice, or Alice. So maybe Alice is in that coffin. But it's actually Snake. Oh, right, this is new dialogue. Oh god. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to voice this for the sake of my voice, so... I want to go through... No, I want to voice it! Thank you for the recap, Kormishi. I'm gonna voice it. I want to go through door 6. Junpei flipped open the piece of paper. It read, Junpei, door 6. Of course it did. He'd written it, after all. That's a problem. June spoke, barely above a whisper, but they all knew what she'd said. None of these teens will be able to go through the doors they want. Clover and I chose door 1. Lotus and I chose door 2. That's not enough people to open a numbered door, however. The digital routes don't match up either. We've got similar problems. June, Junpei, and I want to go through door 6. But our digital route is 5. If we're gonna open that door, we need a 1. Damn. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? Junpei crossed his arms, and did his best to put his thoughts in order. The others followed suit, but with little result. Eventually, Clover broke the silence. Why don't Seven and Lotus go through a door? 1. With me. Her face was cold and flat, as was her voice, but her logic was sound. Seven and Lotus looked at each other. 7 plus 8 plus 4 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. The first problem resolved, Ace spoke up. What about me? Isn't that obvious? Wasn't one of the teams just complaining that they didn't have a 1? You don't understand math? I'm sorry. It's basic addition. You'll figure it out. You mean I should join Santa's team? Clover nodded, her face still cold and emotionless. The attitude and posture could not have been more different than the energetic girl of only a few hours before. So 1 plus 2 equals 4, you think? Close enough! No one seemed ready to contradict her. Her response was understandable, given the horrible situation in which she had found herself, but even so. I understand. I will go through door 6, then. If we do as Clover has suggested, we can all pass through a numbered door. My god, the text is so slow today! No one will be left behind. This seems to be the most reasonable solution. I'm not reading that. 7, Lotus, what do you guys think? I don't have a problem with it. Me either. Alright then. We're good to go. Wow. We don't even get into it how Junpei cheated. At last, Junpei and the other 6 had managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to A deck, where door 1 was, near the main staircase. Junpei, June, Ace, and Santa, however, took the elevator to E deck. A deck? No, Ass deck. Come on. So, June, Ace, and Santa are all people I suspected of killing Snake. But it's not Snake, so I don't know what to suspect anymore. The right to E deck was a silent one. Alright, let's go. Santa's words jolted them to action. They stepped out of the elevator, into a long, straight hallway. Straight? How dare they? Before long, they arrived in front of door 6. One by one, they put their palms over the red. The soft electronic noise authenticated each of them. Wrong lever! The door opened, but all at once the 4 of them leapt through it. Beep beep. Beep beep. Fortunately, the dead was located easily enough. This one had been placed quite close to the door they'd entered through. They gathered around it quickly and hurriedly placed their palms in it for authentication, one by one. Beep beep. Beep beep. Beep beep. It stopped. Yes, it stopped. The countdown had ceased, but Junpei's heart was still pounding in his chest like a frantic, thunderous drum. It felt as though it might shake itself up and out of his throat. He'd been through the doors 3 times before, but repetition had not dulled the experience. He was not anxious to find it dulled, however. He hoped to be free of the ridiculous game long before that happened. Alright, let's go. With that attempt at good humor, Junpei took a deep breath and began to walk. Humor? Huh? He jogged down the stairs at the end of the hallway and found himself staring at a large door. It was a heavy thing, made of iron and more than a little threatening. He took hold of the bar that served as its doorknob and shoved it down. The room beyond stopped him in his tracks. Wow. It's like a warehouse. It was gargantuan and made entirely of metal. None of the accents of wood or tile he'd seen in the rest of the ship. The room was purely functional, but utterly tremendous. It's big. Whoa, what the hell is this? Santa got out a few words before awe stole the rest of them. The rest were too stunned to offer anything more than gasps. It was easily the largest room they'd seen, yet was somehow closed and oppressive. The ceiling was at least 2 stories high, if not significantly more. It was easily several hundred feet across, and appeared to stretch the entire width of the ship. In the center of that gargantuan room stood a massive, rounded building. Even from a distance, the sheer bulk of it was oppressive. Junpei could feel the room, the building, even the air pressing down on him. Pressing down on him, he says. Kinda sus. Junpei and the others were standing on scaffolding that crisscrossed the whole area. The proper term was catwalk, Junpei thought, although that didn't seem particularly important. Alright, let's head downstairs. Nearby was a long iron staircase that made its way, eventually, to the floor beneath them. He moved around toward the opposite side of the massive building, following the catwalk. They hadn't said much as they walked, but as they approached the building, Ace suddenly spoke up. This looks to be the steam engine room. The steam engine room? Yes, the thing that looks like a cross-section of a mushroom is the boiler. What? Do you see the 3 round doors near the bottom? Coal is put into those, and burnt, which heats the water, producing steam. The same thing that drives a steam engine. Wow, steam drives a steam engine? Holy shit! This one is simply somewhat larger. I see. Even if Ace was right, the boiler was boiling nothing as they approached it. The entire room was as silent as the grave. The grave. Suddenly, Junpei heard a noise behind him. He turned, just in time to see June collapse to her knees. Again? Hey, what's wrong? Are you alright? He dashed toward her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders to steady her. June drunk. Yeah, she really looks like it. It was then that he noticed. You're really warm. Yeah, she had a fever at the beginning too. Drunk yuzu when? I was drunk! On my affiliate celebration stream. Is your fever coming back? Yes. Yes it is. Probably is. But I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me. I just need to rest, and I'll be fine. Her voice was weak and forced, and it said a great deal more than her words did. Junpei carried her to the nearest wall and propped her up against it. She let her head fall back against the wall, as if she no longer had the strength to support it, and drew a ragged breath. Her eyes were empty, as if she was having trouble focusing them, and even speaking seemed difficult for her. Junpei felt his hand ball itself into a fist, and clenched tight, his knuckles whitening. He had to find a way out, and quickly! He turned and looked at Ace and Santa in turn. They might not have shared the depth of his emotions, but they certainly shared his concern. They didn't need words to express the urgency of their situation. Alright, let's get started. Hang in there, June. I'm gonna get you out of here real soon. Seek a way out? Oh. She managed a small nod before leaning back to rest her head against the wall. Seek a way out! Bwom, bwom, bwom. Yay. Ow. I knocked my glass into my teeth. Ow. Ow, more like meow. Well, that's empty. It's a square hole. Nothing in here. Yeah, meow. Ah, look at the back wall there. You can see 3 small slots. Terminals for some sort of connector, perhaps. You mean, you think we're supposed to plug something in here? Perhaps. Man, I do the same voice for all the 3 men in this scene. I'd say this is probably here to move coal from place to place. Probably comes from over there. And then the belt carries it down the tunnel and out of here. So if the conveyor belt was moving, yes, the coal would almost certainly come out here. Interesting. This pillar goes up toward the ceiling. Okay. Ah. Is there anything in here? I believe this opening is for fueling the furnace. If we were to put some coal in here and ignite it, then the steam engine might start working. It's certainly possible. Interesting. This is the bottom of the massive boiler. Okay. There's nothing here. Oh, shit, there is. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. A huge bronze gear. This has to be important. Is there anything else? Another gear? This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. It's a silver gear. Do you think it's made of pure silver? No way. Silver's way too soft to use for a gear. You know this, Junpei, but not basic shit? It's gotta be steel or iron gear that's been coated with silver. Ugh. Shouldn't have called it a silver gear then. Shouldn't have got your hopes up. Were you thinking you'd haul this thing back? Nah, but I think 7 could probably carry it, don't you? Okay, so we have bronze and silver. Is this gold? Hell yeah, it is! This gear is rusty, but looks like it's still pretty sturdy. A golden gear. Isn't there a game that's kind of like that? Golden gear? Am I thinking of something else? Doesn't look like it was always golden like this. Well then, I imagine it was prepared especially for this game. Interesting. What's that? Looks like there's a door over there. Over here in this tunnel. The belt over there must deliver the coal, which is then picked up and thrown into this door. The door appears to be welded shut, however. Oh. Oh, okay, and then here's the wheels again. This is where the coal goes. Or would go if all 3 of these things hadn't rusted shut. Oh, okay. Oh, it can go here. Bags. Look, Ace! It's some kind of snowman secret meeting. Is Santa okay? Those are just bags full of sand. Use them as a counterweight when you're lifting something with a pulley system. Man, you're too serious. I think you're not serious enough. You're trapped on a boat that's sinking and you have bombs in your stuff. There's a pair of wooden boxes here. There's nothing in them. Oh, there's a bunch of wooden boxes over here by the wall. I already looked through those. There's nothing there. Cool. Ah. What is this? Given its placement, this must unlock the door to the left. There's a weird indentation on the top of this thing. You think that means you have to insert something here? Yes, I would imagine so. Cool. Door. There's a thick iron door blocking our way. You think this is... Yes. It looks like the exit. Looks like the door slides up into the ceiling. Cool. Is there any way I haven't looked yet? Can I look at the staircase? Oh. Oh man, Junpei, I can't believe I missed something so important. What's so important? Look at those stairs. Look at them carefully. That gap. That height. That angle. It's perfect. Perfect? Perfect for what? Whatever, just bring Clover here right now. Oh my god. Toroshi needs to walk up and down these stairs. Huh? Oh my god. Oh my god. Huh? I clicked on bonk! Oh my god. I've embarrassed myself. In front of the entire world. Holy shit. I have to end stream right now. I can't go on streaming. I fucked myself over. I can't. Just kidding. I have to live with my mistakes. Clara's not here. What the hell is he talking about? He got pranked. I just suffered. There's a catwalk on the upper floor. There's a staircase that reaches out from the catwalk to the boiler. Can I go up it? There are a number of wooden boxes piled up at the bottom of the stairs. They're all empty. Okay, is there anything else? On the upper floor, staircase, yes. Uh-huh, wall, stairs. Nope. That's just the wheel again. This gear's rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. Are these wheels different than the others? Door? There's a small door in the side of this tunnel. It's swallowed shut and won't open. Door. There's a small door on the side of the tunnel. It's swallowed shut and won't open. Huh? What the hell? This is where the coal goes. Or would go if all three of these hadn't rusted shut. Okay. What about... This is the huge oven for the boiler. There are 3 open areas in it. Each of the open areas has a gear in it. And so what do I do? Looks like a conveyor belt. It's not conveying anything right now. A tunnel that goes all the way across the ship. Hook. Hook. Okay. And this is just this again. There are a number of these little windows along the inside of this thing. Clipped and posted to Twitter and everybody will know I'm stinky. No! How could you do this to me? This is horrible. You've humiliated me. I think you're supposed to put coal in through these, but they're welded shut. I don't think we can get these open. Cool. Oh, the conveyor belt comes out of a sort of arc-shaped tunnel. Stairs stretch from the catwalk to the boiler. No. Huh? Man, this thing is huge. Guess a ship this big needs something like that to power it. True, but I doubt a single boiler of this size could actually move a ship like this at any reasonable speed. You need at least 3, no, 4 of these. Huh, I guess you know a lot about boats, huh? Well, not really, it's just common sense, you know? Suspicious. Eh? Oh, this is the massive furnace for this boiler. There's a door built into it near the bottom where you can put coal in. So, what do I do? So, what do I do? I guess I didn't check all of the wheels. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. A huge golden gear. I have a feeling it's important. There's nothing I can click here. That door was welded shut. What the fuck? This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. A huge bronze gear. This has to be important. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. A huge silver gear. I've got a feeling it's important. Conveyor belt runs into a sort of arched tunnel. Arched tunnel? God, I'm losing my mind. Stairs to the upper floor. They're connected to the boiler. Am I missing something? So essentially I'm just moving from side to side of this room, right? Is there anything else I can do? There's a pair of boxes here. There's a pair of boxes here. There are a number of cloth bags over here. There's nothing but sand in them. Ah! I'm gonna look at the walkthrough. I already had it open for the other sections. Just the first step. This is the boiler room, right? Steam engine room. So I clicked on the right thing. So why does the first part say, go up the stairs and have a display on the wall with sliding switches? What does that mean? Where is that? Huh? Go up the stairs that have a display on the wall with sliding switches? The walkthrough isn't even helping, I'm just more confused now. Help me. Oh, there's a barrel under the stairs. Sweet. Fortunately, it's empty. Click the stairs? Oh. How the fuck was I supposed to figure that out, huh? Huh? God. I found the sliding switches. The 3 sliders on the left are down, but this one is up. There are a number of lines engraved in these. I expect we are meant to do something rather specific with them. Junpei, why don't you move that slider down? Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. Nothing. Nothing happened. Maybe it needs to be prepared somehow. You're saying if we did something somewhere else, it would respawn somehow? Yes, I suppose that's one way of putting it. Cool. This is the door we came through when we entered the steam engine room. Oh my god. We're not gonna get anywhere with a pile of boxes here. What the hell's in these things anyway? They're way too heavy to move. Huh. They're the game developers blocking us in. I see, there's doors here. And there's another door too. Yeah. It looks like it would be really hard to get there by walking on the scaffolding. Though, you know? I mean, it's not impossible, but it'd be pretty risky. I think maybe we ought to look for a safer route first. Okay. Door. A. One of the doors on the furnace. There's an A on it. There's a circular wheel in the center of the door. Alright, let's give that sucker a twist. I would never have found this staircase. I never would have gone up here. What the hell? Well, it's noisy, but it opens. Suck the twist. And it's totally pitch black in there. We should, go in here. Alright. Let's go. This looks just like the door we went into. Where are we? Must be on the other side, yes. Which would put us directly above the conveyor belt. At any rate, we should keep moving. There's a great deal we've yet to investigate. Wow, we're on the other side. Plot twist, this is a prequel to Little Nightmares? I don't think so. Would be cool though. Well, anyway, looks like that's the pipe. Looks like the bottom connects to the conveyor belt housing. And then coal must come out of this pipe onto the conveyor belt. In other words, there must be a great deal of coal in that pipe. Okay. Oh. Ah! Where am I? No, I didn't mean to click that. I meant to click the arrow. Where the fuck am I? Oh. Alright, let's give this wheel a spin. What? That's weird. I don't feel any resistance. Gah! Ah, shit. I got a wheel. Good job, genius. You broke it. In honor of 999, you're proud to be my 9th subscriber on YouTube? Wow, thank you! I appreciate it, even though I'm only posting VODs there, and I forget to post the VODs sometimes. Thanks, I really appreciate it. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. Okay. Can I do anything? A hand-operated winch. The wheel it once had is now in my hand. Let's see if I can get it back on. There's a couple of posts on the back of it that look like they fit into holes on the winch. Damn, no good. These little shafts are too small for this big hole. Oh, come on! That must have... That can't have been the only way to say that. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, to be honest. That's the case, then. That wheel wasn't originally part of this winch. Then that means... Interesting. Mystery wheel. There are a whole bunch of boxes blocking the way here. Cool. The catwalk. I guess there's something I can do here since there's boxes in the way. So... Thanks, Ace. I guess we go back on the other side. Boxes. There are a whole bunch of boxes in my way. Can't get through. So we go through door C. Where the hell are we? I guess... Does not matter. Oh, we're back here? Hand-operated winch. There's no wheel to turn. Oh yeah. I've got the wheel pulled off the other winch, don't I? Let's see if it fits. Sweet, it's a perfect fit, like they were made for each other. Cause they probably were. Not shaky at all. Good, I should be able to turn this now. Good work, Junpei. You should be able to haul up the wooden box now. You see? The wooden box. It's under the catwalk. Can you see it? It's hanging from the rope on the winch, isn't it? Looks like there's some sort of device in the box. I'm not sure what it is. At any rate, you might as well turn that wheel now. I'm counting on you. Huh? Why did he say it like that? That's so suspicious. I thought he was going to push me off. Didn't Santa say this was empty? Alright, I turned the wheel. Huh? What's this? What happened? This wheel only turns to the left. It only turns to the left? That means we can't reel up that rope. Yeah. We can only let the rope down. Interesting. I don't think that will be a problem. We will simply need to go downstairs after letting the wooden box down. I will be counting on you, Junpei. Sure thing. No sweat. I believe the box has reached the floor. Yeah. He stuck his head out over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box that had only recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt, near where June had collapsed. Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body. Oh my god, she's so hot. She doesn't seem to be improving. Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said what they had all been thinking. Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know? It'll take time. He tried desperately to convince himself that what he'd said was true. What could be causing this, I wonder? Have you thought about stress? illness, perhaps. Or stress. Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion. Santa's response was confident and certain. She gets dropped into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know? So you're saying we're abnormal? Yeah. We're just running around this room solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual. How the hell could you call that normal? Because June is a little bitch? I still think she's evil. She's probably faking it all. We're just guinea pigs. Santa snorted in disgust. Guinea pig? Oink oink. You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying? Don't know, but it does seem like a possibility, you know? They stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking, until Saturn turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. Yikes! That was awkward. Oh well, back down we go! Through this door? Yes, okay. And... box... is it this one? No. There's a pair of boxes here. Yeah, okay, it's not. Oh, it's this one. Control panel for something. Some kind of machine. Maybe a control panel. How do I put it in here? Maybe this hole is where the control panel goes. Well, there's only one way to find out. In you go! Dude, you did it! Everything looks alright. Okay, but what do we do now? Why don't you press the button next to it? The orange one? Yes. Alright, I'll do that. Pushing! Pushing. Sweet, all sorts of lights are lighting up on this thing. And, oh yes, I think I just heard something turn on. Oh? What's that? What happened? Junpei, look! The conveyor belt's moving! Conveyor belt? I'm just doing the same voice for all three of these guys. Wow, there's coal! Well, I guess it's done moving now. Still a bunch of coal on the belt, though. Looks like a bunch of it got dumped off the end of the belt into that wooden box, where we found the control panel. Coal. Coal, huh? Box filled with coal. Could probably dump that in here, right? Since these ones opened. But it's a hole that'll let us put coal into this furnace. Maybe if we can get some coal in there and set it on fire. Okay, let's do it. Coal. Alright, that's the last of it. No coal left in the wooden box. And nothing. Great. Well, I guess I should have expected that. Why would just throwing coal into a cold furnace do anything? Ah well, a man can dream. Junpei explained it to me again. You're planning to stoke the furnace with coal, which will heat the water stored up there and make steam, which will then drive something else. Am I correct? In other words, you want to generate enough pressure with the steam to power the turbine and drive the steam engine, right? Yeah, I guess that's the, gist of it. Well, in that case, this isn't enough coal. This furnace is enormous. So we're gonna need a whole hell of a lot more coal than this. This is too sciencey for me. I'm barely hanging on. Very well then. If three of us work together, then we should manage to fill it much faster. I want to help too. Man, I totally didn't even see her walk up. Are you feeling up to that? Yes. Yeah, right. You look like you're one stiff breeze away from falling over, June. I think you'd better rest some more, alright? But... no arguing. You need your rest, so you just stay there. We'll handle this. Okay, I understand. Alright, time for some manly work. Okay, come on! Let's get this coal into those furnaces. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Man, this is a lot of work. Alright, I think this should be sufficient. Alright, now we just gotta light it. Junpei, hand me your matches. What makes you think I have matches? I see. And how are you gonna light it? Perhaps there's a device nearby that will allow us to remotely ignite the coal. Let's take a look, shall we? Some sort of ignition device, huh? Have we seen something like that? Not really, huh? Maybe turning the wheels. Huge golden gear. I have a feeling it's important. Oh. Here's rusty, but looks like it's still pretty sturdy. Small door on the side of the tunnel. It's shut and one open. Okay. Conveyor belt comes out of sort of arc-shaped tunnel. What if I go up the stairs and I fiddle with this thing? Slider is locked in place. It won't move. Oh. Slider is locked in place. It won't move. The slider is locked in place. It won't move. Guess not. Guess that down there wasn't anything. What the fuck? I'm stumped again! Stop stumping me. Sand. There's nothing here. And this one you can't get to B. So to get to B, you have to go through A. Same with C, I guess. And there's just this thing. And more boxes, I guess. Oh! There are a number of boxes on the catwalk. I don't think we can go over there. Cool. B. There's more boxes. And then this winch that I pulled the handle off. And more boxes. And through door C is... what, just another winch, right? And boxes. What the hell? I don't think I need to turn the wheel anymore. It's hand-operated winch. There's a wheel on it. My brain don't work. This supports and braces the side of the ship. We might be right above where June's resting. Box. I think that's part of the ship's structure. They're like ribs that support the hull. Okay. Kind of weird. That's the door we came in through. No. This is just more coal. A winch, rope, and hook. There's nothing hanging off it anymore. I can't put anything on there. This is the control panel for the conveyor belt. It's covered in lights, but I can't press them. The light on the button isn't on anymore. I don't need to press it. Okay. Conveyor belt. It's coal. It's shiny and black and coal-like. A tunnel. It goes all the way across the ship. Junpei, you really think you should be paying so much attention to the conveyor belt? Well, what else am I supposed to look at? Fuck you! Pillar. Okay. I'm gonna step away for 1 second, get a pee and water refresh. Rather, pee and get a water refresh. Refresh my brain also, so I'll come back with fresh eyes. BRB! Back! I still got my knife, I still got my bean, I still got my meow. But I got fresh eyes. I don't know if that's gonna change anything, but I do have them. Meow. So a device that ignites it. There aren't any devices. And I think I've looked at everything up there. Red eye? Huh? Huh? Excuse me? I guess? Yeah, I guess. I flicked the 3 levers and not this one. The one that's highlighted. Is this? I think it might be. It probably is. I think this is how we ignite the furnace. That means that if we move that thing down. Alright, let's do it. Wow. Here we go! Hey, Junpei, Ace, look at this! There's big gears turning under the boiler here. Huh? Wow. Oh shit. That's Mickey Mouse shaped. Like the thingy by the exit. The gears. They're spinning. What the hell are you guys waiting for? I started looking. Wow, look at Snake. Give. Gold disc. Bronze disc? Bronze disc. And silver disc. Wow, I got them all. I feel like I just use these discs to leave, right? There was so little puzzle in this room. This room was just too big. That was the only puzzle. Looks like this thing unlocks the door. There's a depression here that looks like it's the outline of 3 circles laid on top of each other in a triangle. Maybe if we put those 3 discs we found into this thing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's stick him in. Come on, Junpei! Huh? That's odd. Nothing's happening. Maybe you're, I don't know, putting them in the wrong places? Perhaps you have them facing the wrong directions. Perhaps you should rotate the discs to make some of the lines connect to one another. Well, no harm in trying. Instructions for operation. When the disc is touched, it will rotate a certain amount. When the white arrow is touched, the discs are switched. Please note when the discs are switched, the angles for the discs are reset. Cool. So it kind of looked like the red would form something. Oh. So I think silver has the most, so I'll swap that. Guess it doesn't matter how much it has, huh? Oh. Oh. Hell yeah, brute forcing it! The red lines on the discs. I think maybe I can make a star polygon with these. Yeah, that's the shape I was definitely thinking of, not just let's make the lines connect. I found it? I found it! Wow. Yes, the door's open. Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. Ace came to share his excitement. Alright, Junpei. Why don't you go get June now? Santa and I will keep an eye on this door. Santa snorted. Why do we need to do that? Even if it shuts, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again. Well, I suppose that's true. Shall all three of us go and collect June then? Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it. He still seemed irritated by something, however, and sat down on the stairs petulantly? Petulantly? So you're only interested in being contrary. A sighed, with the air of a long-suffering parent. Alright, I'll go get June. I'll be right back. He gave a quick nod to Ace and Santa, and dashed off down the stairs. I gotta say, Ace is acting really suspicious today. Before long, he was back on the first floor, next to the conveyor belt and June. As he drew closer, she stood up, slowly. Are you okay? He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there was no hiding the genuine concern in his voice. Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry. June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish. Just to make sure, he reached out and put his hand against her forehead. Good. You're feeling a lot better. She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but still wasn't down to what seemed normal to him. Are you sure you're alright? He had to be sure. June gave him a look. Oh, you're such a warrior, Jumpy. Oops. I mean, warrior. What? June giggled. He wasn't sure if she just made a joke or not, but seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. She was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead. Let's go. Go where? Oh right, I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so. Great! Let's go! June clasped her hands and nodded urgently. So I think there should be one more puzzle room, and then the ending. As they walked back towards the exit, Junpei noticed Santa sitting on the stairs. Oh shit! It's Santa, sitting on the stairs! He was, however, holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and June slowed down and finally stopped in front of him. What are you looking at? Santa answered without looking up, his voice quiet. It's a photo. It's my sister. Sister? Santa, you've got a sister? Santa simply nodded. Yeah. Kid was as cute as a button. Oh, she's dead. June cocked her head, confused. She was only about an inch tall then? Ha ha. Santa glared at her. Sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like a half-inch. Yikes. Santa didn't smile or laugh. Simply turned back to his picture and spoke. You want me to say that? Out loud? But you... you have to see how ridiculous this line is, right? You... I was her Santa Claus. This sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either. Have you ever heard the story of the two Santa Clauses? I haven't. It goes that a long time ago, there were two Santas. One of them wore white, and the other one wore black. The white Santa gave presents to good kids, and the black Santa played tricks on bad kids. They went on like that for a while, but eventually the black Santa's tricks started to get worse and worse. Pretty soon, the white Santa couldn't stand it anymore. He stabbed the black Santa to death. Jesus Christ! When he stabbed the other Santa, the white Santa got blood all over his clothes. And that's why, these days, his clothes are red. Holy shit! You could say that red is all that's left of the black Santa. Can I help you? Hello? We're just coming up the stairs to go to the next room, you know? I feel like there's more appropriate times and more appropriate people to talk about this kind of stuff with. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June was staring at Santa, sadness plain on her face. He continued, I wonder which Santa I am. Tell me, Will. Are you the black or the white Santa? Yeah, we're on a time limit. What the fuck? The white Santa or the black Santa? Alright, let's go. What the fuck just happened? Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back in his pocket and headed back up the stairs, taking them two at a time. What the fuck just happened? Junpei and June looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say. Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on! Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them. They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Okay, so what we inferred from that is that Santa's just a little bit bonk. Just a little bit bonk in the head, right? He's just a little bit messed up in the head. And he had a sister who died. Santa could have just used hydrogen peroxide to clean off the blood. I know, right? Cold water. And soap. Cold water and dish soap does it, usually. Jesus Christ. But my point. Santa had a sister. He used past tense, so we assume she died. So, in the experiment, 9 years ago, Seven said a little girl died. I infer from this that Santa and his sister, just like Clover and Snake, were part of this experiment. Santa's sister died. And Santa is 0. He's holding this for revenge. Final answer, Santa's 0. He was leaning against the handrail. Oh, Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired. The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern. Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time, and the door opened once again. In single file, they walked through. After walking for nearly 15 feet, they found themselves in front of a metal door. It opened easily enough, and they passed through it as well. Squeak! A new room stretched out before them. Looks like storage. This one's so big as well. Is this a warehouse? No, I believe this is the cargo room. This must be where they store all of this vessel's freight. Freight? There are wooden crates everywhere. I wonder how old they are. Junpei, Ace, and June had stopped, unconsciously, pausing to take in their new surroundings. Santa's voice broke through the momentary trance. Oh, almost a bad one. Well, we probably ought to start with finding the exit, right? Let's get going. Bum, 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 bum! Cargo room. Okay. Well, boxes. A box. There's something inside. Thing on top of box. There are a bunch of bags here. I wonder what's in them. Cart with a head— Yo, that's Santa! A cart with Santa's face printed on it. You don't think that's weird? What's that? It's a card. It has a headshot on it. Headshot? Yeah. I'm not really sure what purpose this could possibly serve. You don't think that's weird? Bag. Oh, 7. I guess we're gonna find all of the— Huh? It's locked. We need the key. All the boxes have numbers on them. Do they... Oh? Ace bent down and picked up something that had been sitting next to the box. Junpei, take a look at this. Cards. Ah. There are some numbered boxes and cards with pictures of all of us. Does that mean we need to collect the cards we don't have? Oh, okay. I thought I could just unlock one box. Cool. Boxes! You searched all the boxes. There's nothing in them. Box. Oh. That's me! That's June! Wow, we were in the same box. How romantic! There's some sort of liquid in these barrels. Wine? I'm not sure what it is, however. Wine? Box. These crates are quite large. They seem to be tied to one another with sturdy straps. You would say they are strapped on? Bag. 9. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rope? Okay, no rope. Bag. Hurt with a headshot. Oh, that's Snake! So, the only ones that weren't in a bag were Junpei and June, who were in a box together, and Lotus, who Ace found by the lock boxes. Interesting. Interesting. Clover! I think I need one more. Wooden box. There it is. Box. There's nothing in these crates. Barrel. I don't know what's in these barrels. Judging by their weight, perhaps liquid of some sort. Wine. Stairs. These stairs, they go up 3 stories. What are you waiting for, Junpei? Whatever, I'm going. Door. This is the only door here, except for the one we just came in through. Then this is the exit. No shit, Sherlock. Of course it's locked. Is it an electronic lock? No, just a keyhole right under the doorknob. So to open this door, we've got to find the key that fits that keyhole. That is usually how keys work, Junpei. Good job! Yeah. What's this? Huh? Monitor's off. Got a green switch here and a red one, and some kind of lever. None of them seem to do anything, though. Maybe the power's off. Yeah, maybe. There's a single green light on the bottom, though. That means... Oh, okay, I have to enter a passcode. Come on? Right, I have all of them, so I can just do this now. We had finally collected all 9 picture cards. All that remained was to insert the cards into the slots at the front of each box. Junpei stared at the cards in his hands. Ace peered over his shoulder at them. You know which card goes in which box, yes? Junpei gave him a look. Yeah. Of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match our numbers to the number on the box. So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace on it goes into box 1. The card with the picture of Snake on it goes into box 2, and so on. I see. Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. I'll leave the rest to you. He quickly turned and walked away. Interesting. I don't remember... Right, Lotus brought up, like, something about face blindness when she was talking about wireless monitors. But Ace was also surprised to learn that people were surprised that Clover and Snake were siblings because they looked nothing alike. And now he is having trouble matching the cards with our faces to the numbers. Could Ace have face blindness? I don't know what that has to do with anything. What makes sense though? Strange, Shinpei thought. Oh well, whatever. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back toward the boxes. It was time to solve the puzzle of the 9 boxes. What a tough puzzle! 9 cards with pictures, and 9 boxes. Shinpei stared at them for a moment, and then began. Ace's card went into box number 1, then Snake's went into box number 2. Then Santa's card into box number 3, Clover's card into box number 4, Junpei's card into box number 5, June's card into box number 6, Seven's card into box number 7, Lotus card into box number 8. And finally, the 9th man's card went into box number 9. As soon as he'd inserted all of the cards, beep 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 beep, all 9 boxlets popped open at once. He peered inside. In each box was a single pin. They looked a little like sewing pins, but much thicker. Junpei collected them all quickly and shoved them into his pocket. Huh. Okay. I assume I need them for the machine up top. But I still haven't looked over here. Box. There are 3 crates here, stacked up like stairs. If we climb up there, I think we can get over the fence. Junpei, I think you could go take a look at that? Sorry, but no thanks. Why? I've, got a bad feeling about it. Pussy. Okay, fine. I'll go. Please be careful, Santa. Yeah, but just in case. Wait, what's he going to do with that screw? I don't see what throwing a screw at a fence is. Holy shit! This? Oh man! There's electricity running through that fence. Looks like it. Then we can't get to the other side. Well, we could jump off those crates, but we wouldn't be able to get back. Box! Oh. There's a tall fence surrounding part of the cargo room. Apparently there's a high voltage current running through the fence. Can't look at the box? Fucking hell. This is bullshit. Is that all to look at here? Absolutely nothing? Okay. What the hell? This looks like Half-Life. It does? I've never played it. See if there was a crowbar around. Didn't see one. Huh. There are several lights here with numbers from 1 to 9. Only the light with a 9 on it is lit. Implying only the 9th man is dead. Snake is alive. This looks like it's covering something. It looks like some kind of little shutter. Maybe it'll open if we do something. What's gonna come out of it if it does open? Yeah, like I didn't know that. There are 6 holes here, and it looks like the pins I just found will be a perfect fit for them. The ones you found in the 9 boxes, right? Well, why don't you try it? Alright, let's see what happens. I think 2, 4, and 6 should go here on the top part, and 3, 5, and 7 on the bottom part. Why? Well, some of them lit up. Yeah, 3 and 6. I wonder if there's some kind of rule that determines which lights go on. Well, I put the 2, 4, and 6 pins on the top part. 2, 4... That makes 13. And 3, 5, and 7 makes 15, so 6. Makes sense. It's digital root again. On the bottom. You think maybe it's the digital root? That's what I just said. The digital root? Oh my god. Yes! Makes sense, right? I see. Lights that match the digital root of the pins inserted on the top and lower parts will light up. So that's how it works. Well, there's one other thing I'd like to check. Well, if he wants to try, he's certainly welcome to. So, he'd put the 1, 2, and 3 pins on the top, and the 6, 7, and 8 pins on the bottom. Oh. They turned off. Therefore, light 3 turns off. Uh-huh. Therefore, light 6 turns off. Oh, I get it now. The digital root for the pins you insert is the same as the number on the lights that are lit. Those lights turn off. Yeah, looks like that's the trick. Alright, now we know how it works. You wanna give it a try? Wait, you mean you know what we're supposed to do with these lights? Turn them all on? Well, no, but I figured we could try and see if we could turn them all on, you know? I figure something's gotta happen if we can manage that. Turn on the lights, huh? Okay, Junpei, let's make sure we know how this works, alright? Pick one of the 6 holes. Then pick one of the pins in your hand and insert it into the hole. Keep it up until all 6 of the holes are filled. Once all the holes are filled, the lights with the numbers that correspond to the digital roots of the pins in the upper and lower parts will turn on. However, if a digital root corresponds to a light that is already on, that light will be turned off. The goal is to turn all the lights on. Alright, let's do it. Okay. Well, we need to get a digital root that's 1, so we need to get 10. Okay. Let's see. 2, 3, and 4? No, that's not 10. That's 9. 2, 3, and 5 is 10 though. Oh, right, I have to pick a hole. 2. 2. 3. 5. That's 1. Let's try 6. 15 would probably be the easiest way to go. 1. Oh, right. Hole first. 1. 6. 8. Yep. Now for 2, let's try 11. How do we get 11, huh? 6, 4, 1? 1, 4, 6, rather? Let's try that. I'm just not thinking. I feel like I should probably be planning which numbers I take when, but whatever. 7. So, 16. 3 plus 5. 2 plus 5. Plus 9. Right? Yeah. Okay. And then 12. How do I get 12? 3, 4, 5. Right? That's... yeah. 3, 4, 5, and 17. 2, 6, and 9. Because that's... yeah. Okay. And I guess to get 13. Can I get 13 and 14? Would that work? What do I do for 13? 3, 4, and 6. Is watching me do math fun? And then for 14... I see, well, 7 plus 5. Yeah, it's 2, 5, and 7. There we go. F? F? What are you paying respects to? All the lights are on and the chart is opened up. Hey, does that mean... Yeah, we gotta do it again. Man, and I thought I was doing so well. Huh? Okay, so we've got 9 holes. There's an F up above them. What's F in hexadecimal again? Oh! A is 10. B is 11. C is 12. D is 13. E is 14. F is 15. 10 is 16. Okay. I don't know what the F means, but I do know one thing. What's that? This time, there are 9 holes, so we need to insert 9 pins. Man, that's boring. Well, why don't you just try it, alright? I assume it's like a Sudoku where all of these have all of the rows and all of the diagonals and all of the fucking columns have to make 15. Oh, okay, I need to think for a second. 15. Let's just make one and see what happens. Okay? 15. 15. Well, the easiest way would be to take a 1 and a 5 and a 9. 15. Then another way to make 15 with the 1. Right, so we need to add up to 14. How do we add up to 14? We 1, 4, 4, 1. Ah! I don't think we can add up to that with 1 if we have both 5 and 9 out of the equation. Right? 14. Split that into 2 numbers. Oh, we have to use real big numbers for that. Maybe I placed 1 at the wrong place. Okay, so 1 can't be in a corner. Can I switch it? Yeah, okay. So we use some big numbers to make 14. 6 plus 8 is 14. Sorry, I just got real slouchy in my chair. Thinking about math made me slouch real far down. Okay. 5, so we need to make 10. Okay, that's easy. We use 3 and 7. Uh, 3 plus 6 is 9. So that's too little, so let's switch the 6 and the 8. So 3 plus 8 is 11, so we plus 4 should be 15, and then 7 plus 6 plus 2. That should be right. But I've got the order messed up somehow. Cool! Okay. So I know that this one is 15, this one is 15, and this one is 15, and these two should also be 15. 9 plus 4 plus 2. Is that 15? Yes, it is. Okay, then what about the diagonals? 7 plus 8 plus 9. That looks like a lot. 7 plus 8 plus 9 is more than 15, I'll say. It's only my diagonals. It's only this diagonal, in fact, that's wrong. So how do I fix it? I think the 8 can't be in the middle. Maybe. The thing is, if I take the 8 out of the middle, I'm like breaking everything else I have. So I don't want to take the 8 out of the middle. This sucks! This sucks! I hate this. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate this. I signed up for puzzles, not math. What the fuck is this? Okay, why is the diagonal wrong? What do I have in the diagonal? I have numbers that are too high, right? So I concluded from that 8 probably shouldn't be in the center. Let's take it all out. Let's do it again. Fuck this. Fuck you. Okay. I think the easiest way would be if I put 5 in the center and then always just trying to get 10. So I'll try that. I guess I'll try to get 10 for these two and the diagonals, right? And then I can fill the others in. So 1 and 9 gotta be opposite somewhere. So let's just put them here. Because I know 1 can't be in a corner. Then 2 and 8 have to be opposites. And I assume that 8 probably shouldn't be in one with 9, so I'll do this here. Right? 2, 5, 8? Yeah. And then... well, we got 3 and 7 matched up. And... well, I don't think that 7 should be with 9, so I'll put 7 here. Then 3 here. Then 1 plus 7 is 8. So we need 6? No. No, we need 6 here, but 1 plus 7 isn't right, because that's too little. Ah! Take this out. 1 plus 7. No. 1 plus 6 plus 8. Right? Yes. So 6, 8. And since I have to form pairs of 10s with this, the 4 has to go here. The 2 has to go here, and then that's 8 plus 7 and 12 plus 3. Holy fucking shit. I hate this. This sucks. I hate this. Oh my god. Fucking hell, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Holy shit. Ugh. You have no idea what I'm doing? I just made all of the lines add up to 15. Fucking hell. I don't like this route. A 0 out of 10. The last room was too fucking big. This one has math in it. God. There we go. All pins inserted, all lights lit. We did it. The power's on now. Looks like there's electricity going to the monitor on top now. Alright, let's see if we can activate the device on the top. Cool. Green button, a red button, and a lever. I wonder what these do. I think this might help. What the hell is this? Where did you find this? What is that? Where'd you find it? Found it when you were messing around with pinholes. Looks like instructions for this thing. According to what it says here, this thing's a remote control for that. That? Yeah, that. What's he pointing? Oh, that machine over there. Apparently it's called the Pushmaster 5000. Okay. Are you serious? Whatever. So what are we supposed to do with the Pushmaster 5000? You see the coffin over on top of the crates? Another coffin? Another coffin? Yeah? Don't you want to know what the deal is with it? I do. You want to check it out? Yeah. Alright, how do you think we're gonna get there? Well, there were some crates on the right side of the fence that someone piled up. Like stairs. Maybe if we make a path to the coffin from there. How would we do that? Line up the crates, I guess? Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess this is just another of Zero's puzzles. Yeah. Anyway, let's give it a shot. No, looks like the Pushmaster 5000 runs off a battery. So to keep from using up its energy too fast, it's been programmed so that it'll only start moving once its path has been completely programmed in. Alright, keep that in mind. New material has been added to the final screen. Cool. The monitor shows the top-down view of the area where we can move the machine. Once I want to send my order to the Pushmaster 5000, I just pull the lever. This is the reset button. It allows me to start over again. Once I want to activate the program, I just pull the lever. This is the return button. It allows me to quit command. Once I want to activate the program, I just pull the lever. Alright, let's give this a try. Sure thing. Just keep in mind that there is a limit on the battery, alright? Battery dies after 50 moves. At least that's what it says on the manual. 50 moves, huh? Also, keep in mind that the Pushmaster 5000 can't move the heavy metal crates. The heavy metal crates?! Got it. Instructions for operation. When a square adjacent to the Pushmaster 5000 is touched, the Pushmaster 5000 will move to that square. If there is a crate in the way, the Pushmaster 5000 will push up to a single crate. Move the crates appropriately and efficiently and fill the yellow areas. No. Reset. My first instinct was to push one of these two crates in the corner, so I could move through and push one of those crates, but I can't do that. Because if I do that, I can't get the crates, and I need them. So I can't. So what if I push it like this? I can't push this crate over here because then I can't get it out. So the only way I can push it from here would be up. Though I don't know yet why I would push it up. Oh, I guess if I push it here, I can weasel around and push that one there. Okay, I think I'll try pushing this one here. I'll then move this one over here so I can sneak around, push this one up top. And then... Oh wait, I have to push this one into this position so then I can... When I'm back up here, I push this one down and then up here, and then I push that back there. If I have enough moves. You can't offer any help because these puzzles aren't very tip friendly. Oh, that's okay. I still appreciate it. I think I might survive this one, maybe. Oh, I might be running low on moves. Shit. Well. Yes, I get it. Yes, I know the instructions. Fuck. Maybe I just didn't move efficiently enough in the beginning. You know, before I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Right? Maybe? Maybe? You would have saved moves by pushing the third crate into position before the fourth one. I don't remember what I did. Instead of going for the fourth, then the third. I don't remember what I did. I appreciate the help, but I've already forgotten. I think I had the right idea, I just wasn't efficient enough. So, what I did was what did I do? Pushed this crate over here. Maybe I should start down here since I have a bit more space to move around. Again, I can't push that into the corner. But I can push it here. Then... And then what? How did I get this one anywhere? I have to go this way and then push that one down. Then I'm here. And then go down. Push that one in. Oh no. That's what I did last time, it didn't work out. Right, I pushed this one in. And then up 51. Probably just counts the first one. So I'm on 0 now. Or maybe I just get one move every time I fail. Did it say 50 last time? I wasn't paying that much attention. Well, the only way to get a box here is from the bottom. So I can push this one up there, and then I'm here. And that crate is here. So while I'm there, I can push this one down and there, and then do the whole spiel I did last time. Because that box will be here, and this box will still be here. I can probably push that one that's here, just all the way straight there. Then we have the first one filled and the second one filled. And would it be more efficient because I'm going to be around here. No, wait. No, I'm not. What the hell am I talking about? Oh my god, I pushed this down. I've lost my track of thought. I've completely lost my train of thought. Fuck me. Okay, what if I push this one here? And then I can move over here, and I don't know. Push that over there. I lost my Steam train of thought. That's an old reference. I'm just gonna go. If I figure something out, I'll just not quit out but reset instead. Fuck this. Fuck me. Oh god, that was wrong. What am I doing? I don't fucking know. Okay, don't question me. There's no logic to my moves. That can't be it. That's so much more complicated than what I did last time. I think. Oh yeah, nope. Okay. So I think going through the top is a good choice. Then I do this. Push this one there. This is a real fucking head scratcher, huh? Okay. So... I could push this block into the second position. But would that be any use to me? What if instead I loop up, right? I go here. I push that one up. I loop around. Push that into the first position. I push this down. No, I have to push this block into third position now. Now I do the loop around. But that's just what I did last time! Ugh. Fuck me. Oh my god. This one sucks! One, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That should work? I guess I was just being stupid last time. Oh yeah. I did have the right idea. I was just being dumb! Okay, I'm done putting it in the program. What do I do next? Just be quiet and watch. See, it's moving already. That was your first idea for last time, you could put it into words. I was thinking of that. To be fair, I didn't even remember what I did wrong, but I was still thinking of that. Awesome! The Pushmaster 5000 did just what I told it to and lined up all the crates. Great, now we can reach the coffin. We just need to climb those crates over by the fence. Okay. No, not the bag. Crates. I'm going? Okay. Coffin. Is there a mummy inside? You're gonna get pushed off the crates like TikTok with the milk cartons? Oh my god. They walked slowly past a row of crates until they came to the coffin. We stopped and nodded to one another, and Jimmy put his hand on the lid of the coffin. Mummy! Just kidding. He smirked heartily at his own joke. Junpei grumbled and shook his head. Whatever, just open it. Junpei resisted the urge to remind Santa that he would have had it open a long time ago if Santa hadn't interrupted, and quickly threw the lid off the coffin. Is it Snake? They peered inside. Nope. That's where he gets the gun! Contrary to what they expected, the inside of the coffin was quite large. It was mostly empty, but not completely so. Laying on the bottom was a rusty key, and next to the key... It's a gun! Yeah, a revolver. Looks pretty old. I wonder if this is a replica? Junpei reached down slowly and cautiously picked up the revolver. In his hand, it felt heavy. He checked the cylinder. There were 6 bullets. He'd never seen a real gun, or even a real bullet before. He couldn't tell if these were real or not. The barrel was rifled, and nothing seemed to be blocking it. Is he looking straight down the barrel to check that? As Ace had said, the gun was a very old one. However, it appeared to have been well maintained. If it was a real gun, Junpei thought it would most likely function perfectly. We know! If it was real. Holding the gun made Junpei feel unpleasant. Carefully, he placed it back in the coffin. No, Santa's gonna take it. You're not gonna take it? Of course not. Junpei doesn't know how to use a gun. Yeah, but he can hold it, so Santa doesn't have it. All something like this is gonna do is cause more trouble. It's a powerful weapon that gives one person a huge advantage. Something like that would be way too dangerous to have around. We're in enough danger already. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Maybe Zero put this gun here, hoping that something like that might happen. In other words, maybe he put it here to make us fight each other. In that case, we should most certainly leave it here. I, for one, have no desire to let Zero control me. The others nodded. They had no desire to be under Zero's control either. Okay, we've got that figured out, but you aren't gonna leave that key in there, are you? Yeah, of course I'm not. Junpei picked up the rusty key and slid the top of the coffin back into place. The gun back where they had found it. Oh, so Santa doesn't have the gun this time? Interesting. Key. Santa has the knife this time. Where did he get a knife? I'll just put this key in here and... Yes! Sounds like that did it. But then your prediction is off, Kormishi. You said that June would stab people with a knife when she was taken hostage by Santa, but Santa doesn't have the gun this time, so you can't take her hostage. Yay! Looks like it's open, Jumpy. I see. This key should open this door. It did. Hey, what are you waiting for? Let's go. I found it? Yes, it's opening. I found it! Wow. I found it! The hallway that left the cargo room headed straight toward the stern. Junpei and the other three proceeded down it, silently. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what the next move should be. We've seen this elevator before. We got off the one on the left just a little while ago. Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room. Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room. And now we're back here. In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started. Junpei approached the elevator. Gently, he pushed a triangular button on the wall next to it. A moment passed. 3D elevator animation! The elevator door opened. And shut. Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator. The elevator was now functional. What do we do? Should we return to C-Deck? No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first. I agree. Let's go. So is there the 9 door? I don't remember. The decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway. I think this was where the 9 door is. Sometime later, Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped. Set in the wall in front of him was a door. Yeah, it's the 9 door. So far as Junpei could see, there was no other way to proceed. It was the door, or nothing. Alright, let's open it. Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. 3D door animation. Paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room. And there he saw the number that had hung over their heads since they'd woken up. Bum bum bum! 9. Like the numbers on every other door, this one too was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set into the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed hold of the door handle and shook. Nothing, but he hadn't expected it to open. The red sat on the wall next to the door. Its screen read, "Vacant." It was a large double D. No, a large double door. Come on. Get your brain out of the gutter. The double D is with Lotus. Finally, they'd found it. Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last, they'd found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood, frozen, unsure of what to think or feel. Jumpy! Look! Behind you! He spun around. It's another 9! And couldn't believe what he saw. It was a door with the number 9 written across it. Was there a second door? Why? Junpei's voice was barely audible, even to himself. He stumbled toward the second door, as if somehow compelled. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door it had entered from, but in the opposite corner. 9. There was no mistaking it. A red sat on the wall next to this door as well. Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself. Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors? It was Santa who answered. There were always 2 doors. Just think about it. Zero never said there's only one door with 9 on it. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Of course, we just assumed that there was only one. After all, why would there be more than one? Oh man. Jeez. Junpei was stunned. Zero's trick had taken him completely by surprise. There were 2 doors. That meant that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape, and leave no one behind. Now the reason for the bracelet numbers being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 was clear. Divided into the digital root for both teams would be 9. For instance, 1, 2, 7, 8. Oh, 1, 2, 7, 8. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. The digital root for both teams would be 9. Or 2, 3, 4, 9. And 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. The digital root would also be 9. There were many other workable combinations, but they all ended the same way. The digital root of 9. What did that mean? The answer was quite simple. From the very beginning, the Nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. Well, there were still bombs in your body, so I don't know about that. Zero hadn't been lying. Zero had never said there's only one door. But anyone who'd found themselves in this game would have assumed that that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they would reach the room Junpei now found himself in, and realize the pointlessness of whatever violence they'd visited upon each other. There were 2 doors. No need to kill each other. They'd understand. And be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they'd done. Thank you for that clip! Perhaps that was the purpose of the game. That was how the Nonary game was meant to be played. Fortunately, they hadn't started to fight one another, at least not yet. Well, 2 of you are dead! But if one misstep was made, if the wrong mistakes happened, the stakes would rise and the news would tighten. The thought of it sent a chill down his spine. Well, 2 of you are dead! So, what are we going to do, Junpei? A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice. It brought Junpei back to his senses. No use worrying about the future. He needed to figure out what they were going to do next. There were 4 people in the room. Ace, Santa, Junpei, and June. Their bracelet numbers were 1, 3, 5, 6. The digital root would be 6. In other words, the 4 of them couldn't open a door with a number 9. But what if there were only 3? Could door 9 be opened with 3 of them? It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1, 3, and 5. That would mean... No! We gotta go back. That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed. Yep, I agree. We cannot leave June behind. Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. Oh my god! Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding? The ultimate fanfiction protagonist. Are you sure? I don't mind staying. June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook. It's okay. There's no way we'd leave you behind. Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door. Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest. Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta. Ah. Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis? My fucking god. Oh, right. Ha 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 ha. Perhaps it was a sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Santa and Ace smiled. You guys! June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say. The one quote you can think of perfectly to describe June is, "This game is an RTX, dude. Shut up!" Very well. Best we head back to C deck then. Should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, Seven, and Lotus will have returned from door 1. Even as I spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation. There was no way they could be split into teams that could both go through the doors. Ace knew it. They all knew it. But there was nothing else they could do. They would find the other 3 and search for another solution. Alright, let's go. Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door. Santa and June followed. Junpei started toward the door, then stopped. He'd been too busy with other concerns to notice the room itself. Didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it? Junpei looked around the room for the first time, noticing things that weren't doors with 9s on them. Hydrate! Okay. And stretch. Okay, hydrate first. I see you're just going through all of my redeems. Ugh. That was a much-needed stretch. Thank you very much. Whatever happened to saving your points? Thanks for that highlighted message. Whatever happened to saving your points? While I'm here in OBS, I do think I've been Yazu for long enough. I will go change now. Regular yuzu. I took the cat ears off. Treat your points like your money? You spend a lot of them at once? Same. A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room. The carpet began at the large set of double doors and ran toward the bow, toward... Junpei wasn't sure. Oh, the coffin is still here. Was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. What on earth was a coffin doing in a place like that? But before Junpei had time to answer that question... Hey, Junpei! The hell are you doing? Let's move. Santa's voice echoed in from the hall outside. Right, okay. I'll be right there. Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Bye! Oh shit! There's somebody in there! Stream over? Not yet! Come on! They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long. Junpei found Seven and Lotus waiting for them. They didn't look happy. We've got a problem. Clover is gone. That's not good. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. Turned back to Seven and Lotus. What do you mean, gone? Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask. Clover has the knife? From where? When? Why? You 2 went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you? Kitchen? She wasn't in the kitchen. Seven and Lotus responded as best they could. Yeah, when we went through the door together. But Clover barely spoke to us. She just did her own thing the whole time. There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1. She wouldn't let us into the 4th room. She just said, I'll take care of this one. and shut the door. She must have blocked it with something on the other side. We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out. We called for her, but she didn't answer. So I kicked down the door and we went into the room. But it was empty. Clover wasn't there. Wait, which door did they go through? 1 second. Because I've been through both of the possibilities, so I'm gonna think and see if they're lying. So it's 7 and Lotus and Clover. That's 12 plus 7. That's 19. They went through door 1. What was through door 1? I think that's the captain's quarters. Right? The charting room and the captain's quarters. That's 4 rooms, alright. In the captain's quarters, there's a dead body. And also the zero bracelet. Interesting. There was a door on the other wall. And it was open. We figured she opened the door and left by herself. We ran after her, of course, but... well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out. Clover's gone. Junpei thought for a moment. When did this happen? We got here just before you. You certainly have excellent timing. So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase? No, we haven't. Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern. Very well then, we best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin. There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. In the captain's quarters, there is also the axe! So, Clover might have the axe. Junpei and June ran into the central hospital room and looked around. She's not here. No, she isn't. They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover. Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs and Junpei spoke. Alright, I'm thinking we should probably split up. Check the locker, she's probably hiding AFK. She's probably AFK hiding from the killer. There's lockers on this boat? I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck. Alright. That sounds good. But, what? Could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone? Oh my god. Shut up. Huh? Oh, sure, right. I'll do that. There was a reason Jim persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Although perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by a nickname, by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Canny. I hate that. You could probably make a yuzu not getting references during 999 compilation. I'm sorry! I'm not cultured. I've gotten like 5 references in my life. 9 years ago, it came naturally. After all, they were children. 9 years ago? That's the same time as that experiment. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't put his finger on why, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen one another for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June, and leave it at that. Alright, I'm going then. Yeah, be careful. Canny. God. I hate that name. June, or perhaps more appropriately, Canny, blushed and smiled. You be careful too, Junpei. Yeah, got it. Take care. Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. Can this ending hurry up? I gotta pee. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. Interesting? A little bit foreboding, I will say. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light in a dark place, June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and, possibly, for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. Huh? He opened the elevator door, and there she was. A woman sat slouched against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin smooth and pale as always. Uh-oh! Was covered in bright red blood. Uh-oh! That's not good! Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank. All his thoughts replaced with endless, hissing white. Driven by little more than instinct, he began to walk toward Lotus, slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. She could still be alive. You're just seeing blood. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There was no pulse. Uh-oh! No rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something somewhere in Junpei's shaken mind told him that meant she had been killed recently. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating some time ago. The weapon had been a knife, then. Perhaps she had been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. It took little comfort, knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice. Lotus's bracelet was gone. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only two ways to do so. 1. You escape from the ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that its wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. Was that why the killer had ended Lotus's life? So that they might have the number 8 bracelet? If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining bracelet number 8. Who is that? Who would benefit the most from number 8 bracelet? The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when... Ow! We got got! He heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. Probably because that's exactly what happened! It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain, there was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He had been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. Ugh! His voice was little more than a weak groan. With the little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. Oh! But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. Yag! Ugh! Collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions, not anger, not sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body and reached his mind. His killer glanced down at its body. But who's the killer? Hello? Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone. Hey, who's the killer? Can you show me? His eyesight began to fade, the world grew blurry, and began to dissolve into an empty white fog. The fog crept into the edges of his mind, were inexorably inward. Soon, it swallowed up the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into zero. Oh my god. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. So who's the killer? Hello? Bad end. Yeah, no shit. What the hell? It fucking blue-balled us. This sucks. I don't like this route. This route sucks. Not so nice to meet you. That was the knife ending. Yay. Give yourselves a hand, everybody. We got the knife ending. Well, that was that. I think we got 2 more endings left. So, that's fun. I don't even have anything to say to that. Killer. I don't know who the fuck the killer is. I mean, Ace was acting suspicious towards the end of that route. But I don't know why he would kill us. Okay, well, he took Lotus's bracelet. And I assume he killed us, or rather the killer killed us, because we saw the body of Lotus. And not necessarily for our bracelet. And Clover's missing. What? Who? Bracelet 8? I guess Ace and 1 and 8 would make 9, but that's 2 little people. They can't get out like that. So that doesn't make sense. Whatever. Honestly, whatever. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'll be on Pat's channel on Wednesday at 4 PM Eastern. We'll be playing more Overboard and hopefully getting away with murder this time. Lots of sex was had, but we only got away with murder once. So if you want to see me live on Pat's channel on Wednesday, 4 PM Eastern Standard, go follow Pat at PitterPat_HBM. Hey, I'll be streaming more 999 on Thursday, 4 PM as always. And let's see if someone's up for a raid. Let's see if I'm up for a raid. Actually no. I'm gonna skip the raid today. Sorry. If you guys want to watch somebody, watch a streamer that you like. Yay! Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys around. Bye bye!